So hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Saskia and I'm about to go into my second year of psychology at the University of Southampton. You can tell by the title this is a bit of a niche video, but if you have just clicked on it randomly and you are like an A-level student, stick around because it should be helpful for you as well, not just people who are like tutoring. So I'm going to talk through some good resources for revision and kind of ways to revise, but from a tutor perspective. So yeah. So this video was literally requested by one person and one person alone, but I do think it's a useful video considering I do talk a lot about tutoring and I do promote tutoring a lot, especially in my video of how to make money. Tutoring was kind of the main thing. Tutoring is my main source of income, other than Student Finance England, but tutoring is the main source of income that I get from actually working. Like, I actually have to work to get the money from tutoring, obviously. But yeah, I thought I would talk about different kind of, my plan is basically talk about some platforms that you can use. That's going to be really short because I don't use more than one platform and the platform I use works good for me. Then the subjects that I tutor and like how it's different and how it's different to tutor different age ranges as well. How to structure a lesson, and then good resources to include in your lessons or to use to plan your lessons and that kind of thing. So basically there are lots of tutoring platforms out there. It's hard to pick which one to tutor on. Some of them will have an exclusivity clause when you sign up to them that you cannot tutor on another platform. So if you are going to sign up to tutor, check what that says. Check if that is a thing that you need to be aware of. Some of them will just be better. I have been on two platforms, and one of them was much better to me. I currently tutor on My Tutor, which is... We heard about it in an email from the uni. They sent us an email like, do you want to be a tutor? I was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, I've already signed up to loads of tutoring websites, but like never got anything. Like Super Prof, I think I signed up to ages ago, never had a message, but that was kind of a weird, I don't really understand that. My Tutor is definitely the best one. I've earned a lot of money, they find the customers for you, you can pick and choose a lot more how you tutor. So yeah, that's literally it about platforms. There's not really anything to say. Have a look at what platform suits you. You look at kind of reviews for the platforms. Honestly, then just sign up to one, see if you get any work or not, and if you don't get any work, maybe try a different platform. Like I signed up and in my first like 2 days, I had accepted a recurring slot that I would have a lesson every week, and that was enough for me at that time. Now I do anywhere from like 3 lessons a week to 15-ish, I'd say. I've got busy days, I've got less busy days. It depends on what's going on. Like now that it's summer, basically in July, I had really nothing. I had 2 or 3 students. Now that it's got back to August, a lot of people have asked for like catch-up work for September. So there'll be periods where it's really quiet, there'll be periods when it's much more kind of intense. Like the demand for tutoring will change. So if you're not getting any work, it might be that there's no demand, it might be that the platform's not very good, it might be that you've not kind of sold yourself the best, if that makes sense. So I tutor biology, psychology and English, literature and language. Those are my main subjects. I'm technically signed up to tutor religious studies, history. I think that's it. But I don't do those because I'm not really interested in doing them. So I do biology, I do A-level. I'm not interested in GCSE, it's not for me. Psychology, I do some GCSE, but there's not really any GCSE students, and A-level is nicer. I also do IB for biology and A-level, but for biology and psychology because that is obviously what I studied. And then for English, I just do GCSE because I didn't study it at A-level. I don't know how it works. I can't provide them any support. Like, I'm not going to be a useful tutor if I've never studied it. Like with biology and psychology, most of my students are A-level students, but because the IB content-wise is very similar, I've not come across anything that I haven't studied that's been hard to learn. Like in biology, there's nothing I didn't study. In psychology, there's a lot of things I didn't study, but they're not hard. Like, I didn't do stats tests, found those really easy to pick up. I didn't really do social influence, found that really easy to pick up. Didn't do attachment, found that easy to pick up. I didn't, it was all fine for me to pick up if I didn't know it. So yeah, I tutor those 3 subjects. My primary 2 are biology and psychology because those are my favourites. I miss doing biology, right? Psychology I do at degree level anyway, so I'm like, I get some psychology anyway. But biology, I just miss it, I really do. I miss my biology teacher, I miss learning about biology. And most people that come to me never really want to study the things I hate. So it's quite nice on me that I don't have to kind of go back and revise boring things. I just get to teach the things I actually enjoyed. So in terms of so let's say you've signed up to a platform and you've got a student. You should get some information on that student. Like, it might be very, very limited information. It might just be that they're a year 10 student, they're studying AQA English and they want you to help them with paper 1. But it could be a lot more information. Basically, when I tutor school students and private students. So the school students, it literally will just say like Emily, year 10, GCSE English, AQA. And that might be what I get. In the private students, you ask them, you message them, they message you, and you say, right, what do you want to do? And what I do is I put all of that in a notebook so I don't lose any information, I don't get confused. This is my YouTube notebook. I have the same thing in blue for tutoring, and I basically just write the student's name down, exam board, grades, any targets that they've got, areas of weakness, areas of strength, and then what we're going to focus on. Once I've found out what the topic focus is, then we start to make lessons. So what I've already got is like a lesson bank almost. I have pretty much, I think I have every text for English literature that I've already made lessons for. So I'm always set with that. If it's English, I just kind of go into that bit and I can just do that. Then I have biology. I have 3 full exam boards now. Like, because everyone's on different exam boards for A-level. It's a bit, like with GCSE they're not very dissimilar, but with A-level they're just very weirdly structured. So I now split everything into exam boards, because obviously if someone's on OCR there's no point teaching them AQA because it's not really going to help them. So, I've always got like a revision bank of lessons that I can go to. So say my student wants to do cells and they're doing biology and they're doing OCR. I go into the cells section, I basically copy and paste those slides into a folder that I've made for them on my desktop, and then I will go through and modify them. So those slides will be a general overview, like a very rough, this is cells, this is what we need to do. Then I will put in exam questions. And basically after every so let's say we do like 6.1 or something, after every few slides, or every group of topics in 6.1, I'll do past paper questions, and then at the end of the entire thing, we do like an entire past paper to check that they know the content, but also know how to put it into an exam. Obviously, I don't give them the mark scheme because that's going to give them the answers, but I just have the mark scheme open, double check that they know what they're doing, and then after the lesson, you can send them all the stuff so they can do it themselves. So, for some students, they will have specific ways of learning, they'll have specific things that they want to do. So I have my general slides made for a certain topic like cells, and I will adapt them. So if someone says they hate pictures, I'll delete the pictures. If someone says they want lots of pictures, I'll put more pictures in. If someone wants a lot more kind of discussion-based work, I'll put more questions in. Rather than me kind of teaching, it's more of a discussion. I obviously change it around for each student depending on what they actually want and what they need to know. Like, sometimes it's a good idea to start with like a mini assessment of their needs, mini assessment of kind of where they're at. Like just it doesn't even have to be a full past paper. It can just be kind of a few questions just to see maybe how they answer questions, if there's an obvious issue with their exam technique, like mini assessment but without assessing them, because it's a bit stressful to be assessed. So yeah, then you tailor your slides for your individual person and you just kind of then go. My first tutoring lesson was terrifying. My student didn't turn up though, so I had 3 lessons where I was the student never came, and then the next week I picked up a new student and they started coming to lessons, but I felt like I knew the lesson space and how to use it, and it was just a case of learning. Like, you can't really learn how to be better at the talking bit of tutoring, you just kind of eventually learn. Like, you learn your student, you learn what keeps them engaged, you learn when you're rambling. I ramble so much and I'm like, right, Saskia, stop, no one cares. Or you learn when they're getting bored, so you need to switch up. or when they're really confused so you need to go over it again. Like, you learn your students, you learn yourself, you learn kind of how to do the tutoring thing. So then, I have found so many good resources while I've been tutoring. I never knew these existed, and one of them, if they had an IB version for it, it would be great. Like, for A-levels, incredible. If you're doing A-levels, you need to use it. So the first thing we have is Physics and Maths Tutor, PMT. This is the holy grail of websites. It has revision booklets on literally every topic. It has videos, it has detailed notes, it has flashcards, it has mind maps, it has past paper questions, it has like topic questions. It is the best website. All of my past paper questions will come from PMT because they're all there, they all have the answer, they're all split into topics as well. So if I'm like, I don't want to test my student on everything, I just want the cell cycle, I click on the cell cycle questions, I bring the cell cycle questions, we do them. Like, it's so useful. If I was doing my GCSEs again, that honestly, just printing out a few of those booklets would pass the course for me. It has everything. It's phenomenal. And kind of a not very good website, but is sometimes convenient for things like psychology, is Study Rocket. It doesn't have the whole psychology syllabus on it, but it has some things. It does the job. It's tolerable, but it's very brief, as in it would cover like the whole of attachment in 4 paragraphs, which is good, but if you don't fully know the topic yet, it's not great. It also has good evaluations though, really concisely, which is perfect. Then we have Save My Exams for biology. This is great. Only for AQA is it good, because it doesn't have the notes for the other subjects. Like, it doesn't have notes for the other exam boards. So OCR, it doesn't have notes, Edexcel, it doesn't have notes, but it has topic questions and past papers, but you can get that from PMT anyway. Save My Exams is very good for AQA it's very good for AQA biology. It's got, the pictures are really nice. I like my pictures in biology. I like to be able to see a picture. I like to ask students to explain a picture. Like, why does the cell have different adaptations? Why is this here? I find it really, really helpful. And the pictures are all really nicely drawn. Like, I remember doing my GCSEs and the pictures were, like, pictures in a textbook were awful. These pictures are so nicely drawn. They just make sense. I can actually understand what I'm trying to do, and I can understand, like, the student can understand, which is obviously kind of the point of tutoring, so it is quite nice. Yeah, those are the resources that I use. I don't use my own revision guides. I don't use anything. I sometimes use like I use the exam board website sometimes, very infrequently, but if I need a past paper that was more recent and isn't on another website, I will go on the exam board website. But the exam board websites are kind of useless, if I'm going to be honest. They sometimes have like topic questions, but they don't have the answer. And I might know the answer, but I don't know what the mark scheme wants the answer to be, so it's no point me knowing the answer if the mark scheme wants certain wording, if that makes sense. So yeah, those 3 websites are really, really good. If you're doing your A-levels, highly recommend. If you're tutoring A-levels or GCSE, highly recommend. I feel like there's not really much I can say with this. Like, I just use those resources. I kind of bullet point things onto slides and then just talk. Like, my slide might say interphase and then a few bullet points about what happens in interphase. I am then going to talk about interphase for a bit more than what the slides say. I also always have the slides open, so before I move on to the next slide, I can ask them maybe, you know, what happens after interphase, or what do you think happens here? So you can kind of ask them to almost lead the lesson without them leading the lesson, and it checks that they are paying attention first of all, and it checks that they know what you're trying to say, because there's no point tutoring someone if they come out of the lesson not understanding it. Like, always do past paper questions to check that you're actually teaching them something, because if not, you just kind of feel a bit bad. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to say. There's not really kind of a technique for tutoring. Engage with your students, keep them talking. If they're silent for the whole lesson, it's just like, why are they there? It's like, why don't they just watch a YouTube video instead? Like, engage them, make it worth their time. Like, there's only so exciting things like biology can be, but make it engaging at least. Make them have to engage with the lesson, because you remember more when you engage, Make them even just repeat things back to you, ask them questions, ask them about the next topic, that kind of thing. Like at the beginning it's a bit uncomfortable because you don't really know them, but honestly after like 2 lessons, or even just after the first lesson, by the time you come to the second lesson, you're already more comfortable. You're already like, right, I know you, I know kind of how you learn, and I know how you did last lesson, so I know what to do for the next lesson for us. But yeah, that is it. If you are a university student, do some tutoring. It's such a nice way to earn money that you don't have to really go out of your way to do. Like, you don't have to go anywhere like you would do with a normal job. You can just sit at your laptop and work for a few hours a day, a few hours a week, and it's just nice to earn some extra cash, just to earn, you know, £10 a week, £20 a week, earn your food job back. You can do a lot more tutoring and earn a lot more money, or you can do it in a much more kind of relaxed, casual way, but it's always nice to earn money. Places normally need more tutors. There's been a lot of tutors recently because a lot of universities have been advertising tutoring, but most places will always still be kind of recruiting and will still want tutors. Like if your uni, some of your unis will do like mentoring programs or tutoring programs and things like that. But yeah, I highly recommend signing up to do some tutoring. It feels quite nice. Like, number one, it's obviously nice because you get money, but it does feel nice to see a student go from kind of not really understanding anything to actually knowing what they're doing. And obviously it's nice to get the validation. Like, even if a student just says thank you, I'm like, really? Me? But like sometimes students will literally message you and be like, honestly, you've saved my paper, you've saved my exam, and I'm like, for me? It's a nice ego boost. It makes me feel smart because it also really it just gives you something to do. Especially with online uni, I didn't do anything, I didn't leave the room. And like, tutoring didn't make me leave the room, but it made me kind of do different things at my laptop rather than just lectures. I got to be the teacher for once, and that was quite nice. But yeah, that is pretty much everything. I don't think this is going to be a good video. I don't think anyone's going to watch it. But if you are interested in becoming a tutor, yeah, here is a video to help you kind of plan lessons, what to do. I feel like this is an awful video and I do kind of not want to post it, but it will get posted because I'm out of content. So yeah, thank you very much. If you did enjoy it, you know, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about tutoring, leave them down below or send me a message, and I will see you in a few days.